One of the most common questions I get asked regarding the toss is, what's better, a low toss or a high toss? Now, I almost always teach a low toss, and I'll explain why in a second. But a high toss can also definitely work, and I'll show you how you can make a high toss work as well in this video. The real key to a great serve is mastering the arm action. We need to move our arm in a very specific manner over our head into the key body positions, and we need to do that in a fluid manner without a stop. Now, we cannot stop in what's called the trophy pose, which is a very common problem. In order to get students to master this all-important fluid arm action, I find it a lot easier to work with a low toss. The real key to understand, however, is this. We need to move our arm in a very specific manner over our head to contact, and that needs to happen without a stop. So it looks like this. Fluid motion without a stop to contact, and we need to get into very specific key body positions here on the way in order to hit with a lot of power. Now, because so many club level players are used to stopping in the trophy pose and tossing very high, waiting for the ball to come down, I find it a lot easier to work with a low toss. But at the end of the day, it's all about that fluid arm action, and then when we get to contact here, the ball simply needs to be there for us. Now let me demonstrate how you can make a low toss work, and then I'll also demonstrate how you can make a high toss work. We'll begin with the low toss because that's what I use and that's what I recommend my students to use. What I want you to pay attention to is how the toss is rather low. It's only going to fall down from the highest point, maybe this much. And the real key to pay attention to, of course, is this fluid arm action without a stop. So take a look right now. Okay, and as you can see, this is very smooth and fluid, and then at the end I really speed up.
Let's take a look at this serve with a low toss in super slow motion. Pay close attention how fluid the right arm action is. The arm never stops and moves in a fluid manner through contact. Right now, let's take a look at how high this toss actually is. This right here is the highest point of the toss, and in just a second you'll see that it only falls a little bit from here to contact. So the arm continues to move in a fluid manner to contact, and now we can see that the ball has only dropped a tiny bit from the highest point.
If you manage to get into the key body positions and combine that with this low toss and rather quick service action, you will manage to hit with a lot of power. Now let me explain how you can make a high toss work if you want to stick with that. Pete Sampras, for example, possibly the greatest server of all time, uses a high toss. So it's not about a low toss or a high toss. Both variations can work. It's about mastering that arm action in a fluid manner and then having the ball in the right spot at the right time. So how can we make a high toss work? In order to serve well with a high toss, we need to delay the hitting arm. What do I mean with that? So if we look at a serve like Pete Sampras, for example, he would toss the ball up rather high, and then he would delay the hitting arm down here somewhere. It could be here or here or here, and he would wait here a little bit. The toss would run its course, and then he would go in a fluid manner from approximately here and get into the same key body positions and go in a fluid manner to contact. Okay? Now, the same thing can work if you delay somewhere around here. Andy Roddick did that. He would go like this, and he was delaying here, and then he would go in a fluid manner over his head and to contact. That works as well. What you cannot do is you cannot delay and stop here in the so-called trophy pose and then continue and still hit with a lot of power. But now let me show you what that high toss looks like. So I'm going to toss it up high, and I'm going to delay the hitting arm. Pay attention how this arm stays down here and waits a little bit, and then it moves in a fluid manner without a stop. Okay, and that works as well if you can manage to do that. As I said, I find it easier for most players to work with a low toss.
Now let's look at the high toss serve here in super slow motion, and pay attention again to the arm action. This time the arm stays down, delayed, and now moves in a fluid manner to contact. So let's look at how high this toss actually is. Right here you can see the highest point, which is much higher than on the low toss version, and now we also see that the ball falls a lot further down towards contact. Now let's compare these two serves side to side. On the left side we'll see the high toss, and on the right side the low toss. And right here at the highest point we see a very significant difference. The reason both of these serves can work is that we can still move the arm in a fluid manner. For the high toss on the left side, the right arm, however, is delayed and much lower here at the highest point. This way the arm can then move without a stop to contact from here.
So a low toss as well as a high toss can work if you have a fluid motion and if you move your arm over your head in a very specific manner and get into those key body positions on the serve. Over the past 12 months, I reviewed over 200 serve videos from online students, and I made a very interesting discovery. There are actually two key serve power movements that you have to master in order to serve with a lot of power. And looking at these 200 serve video reviews, I realized that every single student struggles with one of these two key serve power movements. So we need to take a closer look at these key serve power movements, and in the next few days I'll release another video where I discuss this in detail. So make sure you check your inbox for that.